It's Auto In with your hosts Seth Kelly, Will Moulton, and Garrett Walder, with special guest Robyn Key. In this episode, what classes do broadcast majors take at DBU? Do they focus more on theory or hands-on experience? And how practical is all the information broadcast students learn in class? Without further ado, Auto In.
Welcome, everybody, to Auto In. We are back with episode 12 of Auto In, which is the episode after episode 11 and before episode 13. You heard it here first. There will be an episode 13.
See, DBU is a really competitive school. All of the people have to know how to count.
Yes. So I've been working on it recently. I've been studying for my counting test, which is on Friday. My name is Seth Kelly. I'm one of your hosts for today. And the other host today is...
I don't know. It's a surprise, you know?
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
It's actually was just spoiled. I think people who have listened to the podcast already know your voice.
I think we all know that I'm just going to bring in a lot of new listeners. And so they
exactly.
might not know who Will
This
is
is the hit episode.
Yeah. Woo!
This is the post-Morgan episode that gets
post-Morgan.
all the other
Oh
fans.
my gosh.
Morgan.
All right. Well, who do we have here?
Hi, my name is Robyn Key. I'm a sophomore at DBU, and I'm also a broadcasting student.
Wow, that's crazy that you're a broadcasting student.
Wow,
I
that's
guess
crazy.
everyone on here has been a broadcasting
Wow,
student.
that's crazy, but I don't remember asking.
We actually got Harrison Witcher on, who is a broadcast.
There you go.
He's our coworker, but he's a music major.
Yeah, see,
So-
I don't work at the broadcasting department.
So broadcasting students, what kinds of classes do they take other than their general knowledge courses?
We are a communications with an emphasis in broadcasting and digital media. And because of that, we actually cover a lot of topics. So it's when you walk out of here, a DBU broadcasting student is really going to be a jack of all trades and able to go into whatever they want to. So we take a couple of communications classes, and then we take a couple of basic digital media classes like graphic design, some photography, stuff like that, along with a lot of editing, either in video or audio classes. And then we take broadcasting classes, stuff like video production or radio room, which is the senior class. So really from doing stuff like this to graphic design to learning how to give speeches, it's kind of all covered.
Yeah, that's one, I think, kind of misconception I had about this degree going in. Even though I was really interested in the degree, one misconception that I had was that it was a very specific... Dude, you got to turn off your... Dude, your computer audio is going ham right now. You may need to mute it.
It's my audio production. They're...
Okay. Hey, he's working on a class right now. That's very fitting.
Well, I'm not working on it right now.
Anyway,
okay. Well,
so,
one misconception I had about the degree was that it was very specified and it was kind of too, it may be seen as too specific to be able to apply to the, to the real world, so to speak.
Yeah.
But you actually learn a whole lot outside of, broadcasting a very particular kind of show. Like we have a voice and articulation class where you learn, the ins and outs of speaking, speech and interpersonal communication, which goes less into how you speak and more about what you speak, like speech topics and things like that. And just like general communication and, digital editing work and things like that on top of broadcasting classes.
I do think it is really interesting. I actually came to DBU for the communication part. I wanted to be a communications director for a political representative. And then they were like, oh, well, you have to choose an emphasis. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what communication theory is, and I don't want to do PR, so I guess I'll just sign up for broadcasting. I like theater and stuff. And now I'm here, and I want to be a news anchor. So
Hey, yeah.
yeah, it's definitely... you get to do a lot of different things. I think it is going to be interesting going into the workplace and not being a journalism major with an emphasis in news, like TV news, or being a broadcasting major with an emphasis in digital media or whatever. But to be a communication major who has kind of dipped their toe in and learned a little about a lot of things, I think it's going to be very interesting, and I really think that our portfolio is going to show a lot of our success in the future, but I'm definitely grateful for the things that I'm learning about that I wouldn't have otherwise had any interest in.
That is actually one of our classes later. Like the senior level class is portfolio research.
Yeah.
Where we actually go in and we put together a portfolio, is my understanding. There are a number
I will
of...
be taking that next semester.
Oh,
good luck.
nice.
That
It's going
seems
to be
like it's
hurt.
not hard.
I'm worried because I also have to put together so if you don't know, when going into the job field, right? I've looked at multiple jobs because my graduation date is fast approaching.
Woo!
And the problem here is that I've looked into multiple places and they require, as a broadcasting or as to get even just a production assistance job, is to have a film reel of what you've done and how well you've worked. And that has terrified me as of late because I have no footage of anything, right? I have, I have some old projects from video editing and my service learning project from my video editing course. But when you apply, you need three things when you apply: the resume, the portfolio, and your video reel.
I know that's something that's hard. Just looking into internships right now, everybody wants a portfolio or a film reel and stuff like that. And it is wonderful to get to take classes. Like right now, a sophomore level class is video production, and you make a ton of different projects and stuff like that throughout the semester. And not all of them are things that you should put in your portfolio, right? Because they're all about experience and learning. But a couple of them aren't bad. I know my favorite class that I've taken so far at DBU has been media announcing, which is actually an elective. And it
was one they added recently, I think.
Yes, it was fantastic. Professor Brendan Smith did it, who's the announcer for all of our sports games, and he's wonderful. But for our big final project, we kind of got to decide what we wanted to do. And so I did a 10-minute news segment that I put together myself and did everything for. It was actually right after Corona happened, so you should have seen the setup in my living room. It looked ridiculous.
Wow.
But I did that, and that's something I can probably, for now, hopefully I'll get a lot better before senior year, but have to send in internships and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you mentioned the news segment, which reminded me of Writing Across Media is one class that we take.
Yes.
That's an online class. It's basically a journalism class, but you learn all different sides of journalism. Like you do a radio spot as one project. You script a TV spot. You also do like different, advertisements. You do a beat paper, obituary, all kinds of stuff.
It's kind of like 2 years or at least 3 different classes worth of journalism classes in one class, which is kind of a lot of the classes that we take as broadcasting majors here at DBU. There are a lot of very condensed,
like survey classes.
Yeah, to kind of help you figure out what you're interested in so that you can kind of pursue what you want on your own time.
Yeah. I don't think we've scratched the surface of the extent of all the classes that we've taken, but
gosh, no.
Video editing is one that I took last semester. Will also took last semester that class with me. We had it with Dr. Hartley, who now does everything online because he doesn't live in Dallas anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that until like November, as in this month.
Yeah.
I was like, what? No, because he's such a cool guy, and it was always good in video editing to have, for the half, that I was able to, be in person.
Right, yeah.
It was cool to have him there so that whenever we had a question, whenever we were working in class, which he gave us plenty of time to do projects in class, he could come up and he could help us out, and we would have Premiere right in front of us. And so that was always very helpful.
We're taking audio production, Seth and I and Will. We're all taking audio production right now with Dr. Hartley online. And he is so organized and everything's so well set up. But there's definitely, I wish sometimes that he could come over and kind of show me around a little bit more. Particularly because although I've enjoyed the class, audio production is not my strong suit. And it's not really what I want my future to be. But it's still something that, if you ever do a professional video job, people are going to expect you to do. And so you need to be able to do it even unglamorously.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm probably not going to be taking video editing this next semester, even though it's only offered in the spring. But I need to take my languages.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
you're a Bachelor of Arts, or you just
I am.
gotta
I'm
get
a
language?
Bachelor of Arts. I figured,
too.
I figured it was better to take a couple history classes than to fail a bunch of math classes.
Fair.
But I'm really dyslexic and I have an audio processing disorder. So learning other languages, particularly verbal ones, is really hard for me. So I am worried that I'm not going to pass all of them. So I want to give myself that extra semester as a buffer. So I need to start that now. But I really want to learn ASL, and we don't offer that here at DBU. But we are allowed to transfer in 12 credits. However, I need to do it at another college. And so because video editing is so time consuming, I'm worried that doing video editing on top of having to go to another college for a language would be too much. So,
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, one other class we're taking right now is video production, and that's a whole lot of like setting up live productions. We've done one project. Well, actually, we've done a number of them. Assignments 1, 2, and Project 1 have all been videos that we pre-record and we send in. Assignments 1 and 2 we do by ourselves, and Project 1 we do in a group of people, about half of the class, if the class is around 10 to 12 people. And Project 2 is a live production of some sort, I believe. I forgot what it was.
we did a game show.
Project 2? And then again for Project 3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't there. I was actually sick, so I didn't go. I didn't get to see the deliberation process of that, but that's what happened.
Oh, okay. Project 3. Oh, yeah. Project 2. Okay, so Project 2 is a live production of any sort because me and Will are in the same video production class and are in the same group. We did a Dr. Phil spoof.
Yes, yeah. My roommate is in Yellow's group, and she was talking.
Yes. So it was a lot of fun. Will was, Dr. Will and did his best Dr. Phil impression, and it was actually phenomenal. It was lovely.
So sad. I didn't get to see that, and I haven't gotten to see the video version of our live episode, which I wish that we would get. Maybe they'll play them in class, but no, that's so exciting.
Yeah. Project 3 is a live game show. We did like a general trivia showdown. It was kind of like it was sort of like a Family Feud style trivia.
We did that. We did Family Feud. Yeah.
I got to help run camera for that. It was
we had
great.
People sick, so
There was one time, doing a live production, your first run through, every once in a while, there's just going to be a fib. And I remember one particularly notable one where one of the answers, like they asked, name something you associate with a goldfish. And then one of the contestants went, well, they're normally like in a bowl, a fish bowl. And then Rodrigo, who was the host, went, okay, fish bowl, is that up there? And then on the survey, it flipped up orange for the goldfish. And everyone was like, yeah, correct answer. Yeah, orange.
I always think, oh, I'm a good actress. I should be talented. It's fine. And then stuff like that happens, and I cannot stop laughing. I just lose it. That's not very professional of me. But no, yeah, that's been a fun class so far. One that you haven't taken, but I'm in. Are you in? I guess we'll find out. Film and cinematography. Have you already taken that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's an interesting. It's fun to get to watch movies, and it's really fun to get to talk about them. And it's one of those classes that really does show like the broader strokes of the broadcasting degree, because a lot of people are interested in going into film. I know my roommate's considering getting a master's in film production, stuff like that. And so getting to talk about the production aspect and getting to learn, there's this specific short film that they show us, which we learn about how they made the short film. And just stuff like that is really cool and isn't something you'd get if you were in a more concentrated degree.
Yeah. So Chris is currently teaching that class, right?
Yes.
Sometimes Dr. Hartley teaches that class.
He created it. Yeah, his name is on all of our stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, Chris and Dr. Hartley, they switch kind of class. They have a pool of classes that they each teach every so often, and they kind of switch off.
Oh, okay.
So Chris will sometimes teach. So sometimes Chris will teach video editing, for instance.
Oh.
Dr. Hartley taught it the semester that I was a part of it, but sometimes Chris will teach it. Dr. Hartley will teach film. Sometimes Chris will, I don't think Chris always teaches video production. I think sometimes Dr. Hartley teaches it.
Interesting.
And he teaches audio production sometimes, Chris does. So they have this pool of classes and they distribute them, they kind of divvy them up. I guess at the beginning of the semester, they talk about it. And there are a number of other, especially, outside of the broadcast realm, there are a lot of other professors. Professor Lee Getman Allen teaches, or LGA for short, teaches voice and articulation. Professor Alexis Sparks teaches writing across media online.
Professor Farr.
Professor Farr teaches speech and interpersonal communication.
And nonverbal.
Communication, which is not a class on the degree, but it is... I've heard it's a great class.
Overall, the communication professors that we have here at DPU are overwhelmingly fantastic. And I'm really sad that we don't get to spend more time with them, particularly because I came in wanting a communications degree. But we do get some elective choices, and I really hope to spend those with those professors because it's just awesome.
Yeah, they do teach other classes outside of the broadcast because they're a part of a different kind of emphasis. They teach classes outside of the broadcast emphasis that you can take as electives because you can do a few electives throughout your degree.
I think it's 2, but they have to be communication centered.
Yeah, there's some kind of division between, out of the pool of electives that you can take, there's some sort of division between, most of them can be lower level, but one of them has to be an upper level elective. Our final class that I think we'll talk about before we get to the break is kind of the culmination. I mean, you get a number of kind of things where you have to look outside of DBU for your work, like internship. There's an internship class where you basically just go out and get an internship. Portfolio research. There's one that you do mainly inside of DBU, and that's broadcast practicum. And in that class, the entire class is basically, it just comprises you coming in for most, if not all, of the games that we do. Yeah,
it's intense. On one hand, I'm really appreciative for it because stuff like this is 100%. You learn it by how much you do it, sort of thing. There's like the metaphor for the there's one group that makes 100 pots and there's one group that spends 100 hours on one pot. And the group that makes 100 pots always comes out on top because they've done it before instead of just like theorizing about it. There, like, you can go into it real deep, but because some things, are the 100-hour pot, and some things you just make a bunch of them. This is a stupid metaphor. Anyway, point being that I am really appreciative that we get to spend so much time behind the camera, behind the replay. Like, I don't want to do sports tech. I don't think that's where I'm going to end up. But getting to have those hours in the control room in that environment, I think is just irreplaceable.
So that's kind of a little bit of a survey into all the classes that we get to take as broadcast majors. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to be getting a little personal. I'm gonna ask some very personal questions about your early life, and no, I'm kidding. Like stuff like favorite classes and favorite broadcast textbook and stuff like that. Okay, so stay tuned. And we are back. I hope you enjoyed the break. I knew it. It gets every guest. Whenever we just wait for a second and then we start in.
I was like, the audience doesn't need a break, Seth. I don't get it. Okay.
Nah, we need a break. That's it's kind of an arbitrary thing. We just play music for like a solid 8 seconds, and then that's about it. Okay, well, we are going to go around the room. We're going to say our name, our mom's name, and our favorite ice cream flavor. I'm kidding. I'd say go around the room and say our favorite class, maybe that we've taken so far. This can be a broadcast class or as, a kind of loosely related, a communication class or even a gen ed class if you're feeling that. Just out of all the classes you've taken at DBU, which one is your favorite? The floor is open.
Well, my favorite class was the media announcing class, which I've mentioned a couple times just because I really loved it, and it really did help solidify for me that I wanted to pursue the news side of broadcasting, which is wonderful. I love Professor Brendan. He did a really great job. Professor Smith. He did a great job. However, that's not my favorite textbook. I really liked that book. You've mentioned favorite textbook a couple of times. And my favorite textbook was from our speech and interpersonal studies class with Professor Farr. You and I actually took it together, Seth.
Yes.
And that book I bought it from someone else, and I still have it because it just talks about so many interesting interpersonal things, and I still read it for fun sometimes. It was so awesome.
It really is clear in the way
Yes.
that it presents the information, which is great because it's a communications course.
You would think, you would hope.
Yeah. I gotta say my favorite unit from that was as always the one on logical fallacies.
Where we all yelled them out and we were all wrong.
Right, exactly. Because, well, I got to correct everyone when they got the logical fallacies wrong. No, but I did. So for the speech and interpersonal communication class, you have to have like one topic that you do both an informative and a persuasive speech on. Mm-hmm. I did mine on logical fallacies because I've always I've been a debate kid since like 9th grade, and so I was like. Logical fallacies fascinate me. I love learning about them and I love talking about them. And frankly, I love a little too much pointing out when people use them. But I did my informative speech on them and my persuasive speech on them. I think it was 3 logical fallacies that everyone uses and like why you should, watch the number of logical fallacies that you use in everyday language and things like that.
Yeah.
As my topics. What were your topics for speech and interpersonal communication?
Oh, gosh.
You did some Audrey Hepburn stuff.
Yeah, I think I mostly did Audrey Hepburn. And I talked about, because I did my English 1301 paper on Audrey Hepburn, so I already had all this research done on her. So I think I did Audrey Hepburn, and I don't remember what the other speech was about, because I think it was just an introductory speech. I actually, in high school and middle school, was classically educated. So I was taught logic, as in P equals Q, if P, then Q, stuff like that, which then lended itself into logical fallacies. So I was very embarrassed when I was like, oh, straw man is whatever. And Professor Farr was like, no. I was like, oh, that's just 12 years of education down the drain.
Oh, no.
But no, I loved giving my speeches on Audrey Hepburn. And I liked hearing everybody else's. We had 2 bass fishing people, which I didn't even know we had a bass fishing team. And they came out and they did all of their speeches on bass fishing. And it was really interesting to learn how much there is to it. So it was fascinating.
One person came up and did her speeches on how she has like a chicken business, like an egg business.
Yes,
and I
forgot
loved that. I was like, she kind of, she was very humble about it and was kind of like, or very modest about it and was like, yeah, some people may think it's weird. And I was like, no, that's it's so, out there from what is kind of generally talked about that pulled me in immediately. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
Chickens? What?
There was another girl who did competitive cheerleading.
Yeah.
And that was super fascinating. I was actually, they're different, but I, at the time, was watching the Dallas Cheerleaders audition TV show. Because the Dallas Cheerleaders do have a TV show of their audition process because it's so intense. And competitive cheerleading and sports cheerleading are completely different. But it was really interesting having my interest peaked in that and then getting to hear her speeches. It was really cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite textbook, Seth?
So, let's see. My favorite text, one of the most interesting textbooks, I guess, to me was having come from a background of shooting a whole lot of video, How to Shoot Video That Doesn't Suck by
That was
Steve
a great
Stockman.
textbook. I bought that one too.
Yes.
Yeah. I still have that one.
In fact, that's one thing that Chris tells you, not just to get the bookstore money or anything, but buy all your broadcast textbooks. He says that because he still references books as someone who does, video work and stuff every so often. He still references those books for very helpful information.
Yeah. Most of them are pretty cheap too. I have to admit, I'll usually rent them from Chegg, and then Chegg has the option to buy them.
Oh,
And
later?
So, yeah, later. And so then if I really enjoy it, at least I think this is how it works. Maybe I just kept it too long. I don't know. But if I really, really like it and did read it and felt use from it, then I'll buy it. But sometimes I'll send them back. Just like the audio production book. I opened it and I was like, this is a lot of math. And I closed it again. Obviously, I use it for the class, but I'm not as engulfed as I was, let's say, in the interpersonal studies book. So I'm probably not going to keep it just because it's not of super use to me and it is kind of more expensive.
Sure, if you're not going into the audio production field.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that media announcing was the class that solidified that you wanted to go on the news route.
Yes.
So writing across media was the class that I think solidified the fact that I don't want to go on the news route. I came in thinking man, journalism is cool in its own right, and I can see how it can be fascinating to other people. It's just not as fascinating to me, or I don't enjoy doing it as much as I like doing, things like this that are more, improv off the cuff, or less having to do research and more being able to be just creative on the fly. You can do a lot of things. You can be very creative in journalism, but there's still you still have AP guidelines, and you still have to. You can't
So is the formatting for you? That was the restrictive.
It was. I think the formatting felt restrictive because I couldn't
that is so
write a unicorn worthy fantasy story kind of deal.
I love it how I can talk to everyone in the broadcasting program and we all have different dreams and goals. And sometimes that can feel a little isolating because, I don't know anyone else who wants to be a news anchor. But at the same time, I love it because I can have an idea and then I can be like, Connor's going to want to work the camera, and then Kristen will edit the video for me, and then Seth would be more than happy to do the audio for me, and then Garrett will help me do whatever. And then, all of my friends have such different passions and know so much in areas that I don't. But also would turn to me and be like, oh, Robyn, you would love to be the talent, or Robyn, you would love to do the script, or hey, can you help me bounce this idea around? And it really does show how everyone's valuable, while at the same time, we're all learning things that make us uncomfortable.
That is actually something that I learned in a leadership development class in my senior year of high school, which is staff your weaknesses. If you are weak at something, there is someone probably around you, especially in this, you make all kinds of different connections here as a broadcast major. You find a lot of, different passions within broadcast, but you can also find, for example, you work at the writing center. So within the broadcast major, if you need help with English, then you might, since I know you, I know that there's a writing center now.
Yeah.
And I think I knew there was a writing center before, but if anybody was what's a writing center? And Robyn comes in to save the day, haha, I know whether to use an Oxford comma or not.
Well,
that's a whole nother conversation.
There's someone at the writing center who would understand if you brought a script in.
Right.
And be like, oh, well, yeah, I was given this pamphlet too. I know what Chris wants or whatever. Or even, you want someone to go over shot ideas with you or just stuff like that. I think that's really cool. And it's so wonderful. I have a study group that meets and we'll go over our video production stuff together. And getting to see where everyone shines and then where everyone's is a little weaker.
Yeah.
I think is really cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, that being said, I think we're going to transition into our next break. Will is going to get into the edit suite. Thank you for coming on the show, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Garrett will come on for after this second break. No, it's not the third break. It's the second break. We've only done one break. Second break, and then we'll do a little pop quiz on class material. Versus Garrett, and it's going to be great.
Oh, dear. See, the thing is, I'm a better student than Garrett is, but Garrett knows more stuff than I do.
Staff your weaknesses. Except now you can't staff your weaknesses because you're all on your own for this quiz. All right. Well, stay tuned and we will get right to it. Welcome back, everybody. It is time for AutoWin episode 12.666666666.
Whoa, watch how many sixes you're doing there, Seth.
666.
We're going to a Baptist school. You don't want to add...
No, I went past 3, so it's okay.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Garrett went over to hug a door.
He's such a tree hugger.
You know what they say? A tree hug every day keeps the doctor away.
I love
More like the ladies.
evading my hugging a door a day keeps the ladies away.
Robyn, you don't know what gender the trees are that I'm hugging, okay?
Let's move on.
That's true. Speaking of genders, we're about to do a
trivia quiz?
How did you know? Wow, you completely guessed it
Robyn,
with
did you
no
read the
context clues
script?
whatsoever. Yeah, can
Robyn,
you
did
see
you
the
steal our
answers?
script?
Are you about to cheat on this quiz?
Oh, if only.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, we're about to do a pop quiz on intro to broadcast material. So it's been a while since we were all in the same intro to broadcast class, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
first semester a year ago.
Yeah, in fact, out of everybody in the class, guess who was the only one who had to take the final at the end of the semester?
I honestly forgot about that until you just brought it up.
It was Garrett.
Yeah, so I forgot what happened, but somehow I ended up sleeping because I think I had to do an all-nighter the night before or something like that. So I ended up falling asleep, and I accidentally slept through intro to broadcast, and it was the last day of class. But the thing was, Chris, our professor for that class,
what he said was if you liked, for anybody who came to the chapter review day before the final exam, if you liked your current grade, you could drop the final exam for anybody who came that day, which was everyone except Garrett.
yeah, so I was...
Garrett's been a problem child since the very beginning.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of unfortunate. Hey, but at least I'll be remembered as the one person who had to take the final.
I'm sure Chris,
in the 2019
when he
intro to
was
broadcast.
grading your final, the one thing keeping him from like his summer vacation was really grateful for you.
It's like, sorry. You know what's a great segue?
See, whenever you do that, you always like reference something that I have to cut out, and so I have to like try and find some way to like shoehorn some other kind of transition. But I do that as well.
Hey, Seth, you know what's a great transition?
What's a great transition?
Transitions.
Yes, and
editing transitions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about broadcasting introductory trivia facts, which Robyn has totally
let's do that. In fact, let me explain the rules of the game.
Okay.
So there are 7 questions, which means there is no conceivable way that there can be a tie. Hopefully, if this is foolproof, as far as I know. We are going to do a snap system so that it's not as destructive.
Bang on the table.
Yeah.
Make it break again.
If you have the answer, snap into the mic.
I don't know if we can get a good consistent snap though.
Can you
not snap?
No, I can. It's just it's not consistent. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'll just listen.
No,
very
it's
closely
fine.
for
Just go.
First person who snaps gets to answer first, and then we'll just alternate back and forth until one person gets the right answer. If you get the right answer, you get a point. At the end, person with the most points wins.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
And this is all over material that you learned in Intro to Broadcast class
Wonderful.
a year ago. All right. Are we ready?
I was the top of my class in Intro to Broadcast.
Yeah.
You
2019.
you have the gall to say in front of the person who was probably the top of our class in Intro to Broadcasting.
I don't even remember.
I'm not referring to myself.
I gotta say, you had the highest grade on the final exam out of everybody that took it.
Hey.
Yeah, you blew everyone out of the water.
Okay. Yeah, would you get a 0 on your final?
Yeah, he didn't even assign me a grade. It was so bad. All right.
Question.
The first question is, according to the textbook, How to Shoot Video That Doesn't Suck by Steve Stockman.
It's a good book.
The first step to preventing bad video is accepting the truth. Fill in the blank. Blank or die. Yep. Garrett. Oh, wait. Hold on. Did you snap first?
Garrett snapped first.
Oh, okay.
Commit.
That is incorrect. Robyn? Blank or die?
Awesome.
Entertain.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
That's 1 point for Robyn, 0
Also,
points
just
for
letting
Garrett.
you know, I think my finger may have low-key punched the mic when I snapped because I hit more of the mic than I did my hand. So
I have the answer. All right. That's 1 point for Robyn.
Yep.
The second question is, What is the current aspect ratio standard given by the NTSC? Yep, Garrett.
6.9. Or not, sorry, no, 6
That
colon
is-
9.
That is incorrect.
No?
It is not 6 by 9.
Wait.
Robyn?
Oh, I think I know.
The only thing I can think of is that 4,100 is the highest you can go on YouTube to get the clearest picture.
That,
So what's your answer?
that's not an aspect ratio, Robyn.
I know.
That's a resolution.
Thank you. It's 5.5x3. I don't know. I really have no idea.
That is incorrect. What is the current aspect ratio standard?
6 colon 1.
That is incorrect.
Six colon. Okay, that would be like
6 pixels wide for every
like,
1
I
pixel
still
tall.
know how math works.
Wait, are you talking about resolutions?
Wait.
I was thinking like screen size.
It's an aspect ratio.
Oh, aspect ratio. Yeah, well, yeah.
So
that
it's
would-
Robyn's turn to answer aspect ratio. Just
just going
throw
back
out
and forth.
numbers
Okay.
if you don't know.
8x5.
That is incorrect.
3 by
That is incorrect.
6,
Robyn,
4, 5.
It's really not 6x9?
it is not 6 by 9.
Can we move to the next question?
Yeah.
Because we're not getting
We're
this.
not going to get this.
Okay. Wow, I guess there is a conceivable way that there's a tie.
No, I thought of that when you first said it's foolproof. I was like, we could both not know.
That's true. Okay, so the current aspect ratio standard given by the NTSC is 16 by 9, which means for every 16 pixels wide, it's 9 pixels tall
That makes so much
Okay.
more sense.
or high.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so
We're
I
trying to put it in a photo frame.
I guess neither of you get a point. Wow, my foolproof plan.
I was thinking like
This will happen again.
You
Don't worry.
foiled it. Okay, so no, we want it to happen again
Yeah,
to get
I know.
it down to an odd
This will
number.
happen again. Don't
Oh.
worry.
Okay, so in that case, Robyn 1, Garrett 0 still.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, because you got the first
You didn't
one.
get the question right.
Yeah, I forgot we had one before that. Sorry, continue.
You said 6 by 1
what?
as one of your answers. All right, this is 100% going to happen again with this question, but what is the aspect ratio for Snapchat videos? Yep, Robyn?
It's 4x1.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
Yep,
9 by 5.
that is incorrect.
9x5.
Nine.
Wait, hold on.
Frame.
Robyn
Oh.
gets to answer.
Okay, is it 4x2?
Incorrect.
4 by 2 is like the old one, I think, like the tube TV, right?
No,
Oh,
you're thinking of a different aspect ratio. You're thinking of 4 by 3.
I have to do this all the time. I have to make like stories. I run the social media at the Writing Center. I should know this.
7 by 12.
That is incorrect.
It's not even 5x3.
That is incorrect.
Can you
Do you
at least
do you
give
want
the
us?
first
Do you?
Yeah, what
number?
is it? What is
Okay,
it?
so here's a hint. You can extrapolate the answer to this question by thinking about the answer to the last question.
9 by 4.
That is incorrect.
3
Do you-
by 4.
Do you guys remember the answer to the last question?
Yeah, it was 16 by 9.
Okay.
So is this?
Oh.
Is it still 16 by 9?
No, it's not. That's incorrect.
I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
9 by 16.
That is correct.
Yeah!
No.
Snapchat is 9 by 16.
That's why I got the highest score on my final.
I
And
think I need to go look up what aspect ratios are.
that's why I was top of my class, Robyn.
Hey, there's a review point. Yeah.
I hate it that every time I make a comment like that, y'all are just like,
I mean, honestly, I'd imagine you did well in the class.
No,
like,
I did
don't,
fine.
I
No,
don't
yeah.
remember
I'm
what
just
you-
joking. 'cause
I wasn't looking at all my
I clearly
friends' grades.
was not the best.
All right, question 4 is coming up. Here we go. What is, you get your fingers ready. What is the color temperature of outside light? Oh my God. Garrett,
4,600.
that is incorrect.
What?
The color temperature
Inside lighting?
of outside light.
Outside light.
It's 4,600, bro.
It is not 4,600.
I think it is.
It's not.
It really is, Seth.
No, it's
Look it
not.
up right now, please.
I'll look
Wait,
it up.
I know it is.
Robyn's turn to answer, though.
10,000?
Wow.
That's really hot.
That's incorrect. 10,000 Kelvin is like the highest you can possibly get, probably.
4,300.
That is incorrect.
4,000?
That is incorrect.
4,200.
That is incorrect.
I know it's 4,000 something.
4,100?
I'll do warm and cold with you. For if you're getting closer, I'll say warmer. If you're getting farther, I'll say colder. And our point here will be 4,200. Robyn?
4,100.
Colder.
4,700.
Warmer.
4,900?
Warmer.
5,600.
That is correct.
Yes!
Oh, no!
I knew there was 600, and I thought it was 4,
I really thought it was 4.
but apparently it was 5.
I need to go
Cool.
back to freshman year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning from this.
The color temperature of inside light is 3,200 Kelvin.
Yes.
And then
I knew
outside
that
light's
one. I knew
56.
that
I
one.
really thought there was a 1 in there somewhere.
Well, okay, so technically speaking, the color temperature of outside light, I think, can range from about 5,200 to 5,600. And
Okay.
color temperature of inside light can be like 2,800 to 3,200.
There's no 1s in there.
Well, no, 3,100 could count as a color temperature of inside light. I'll give you that.
Okay.
If it's really dark, it's probably a 1.
That's my brain.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Question number 5 coming up. Name the 3 light positions in a 3-point lighting system. Garrett? I think it's Garrett.
I always forget the last one's name. Hold on. So it's Key is front. Fill is for like the sides to fill in shadows. And then this is my final answer. It's something like overhead. Shut up, Rob. It's something like overhead or like background. I'm going with that.
Background?
Background.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Key fill backlighting.
That is correct.
Okay.
So in that case, Robyn's at 2. Garrett is at 2. Are you at 2?
Yeah, we're tied.
Okay.
Okay. Tied at 2. Question 6. Which end of a fiber cable has 2 separate connectors, the male end or the female end? And this is pretty much if you snap first and you get it wrong, the other person gets it right. Yep. Garrett?
Male.
The answer is male.
No!
Yeah.
Garrett is correct. So Garrett is now at 3 points. Robyn is at 2 points. And this is potentially the tying point. And then I'll have to come up with some other
Like to make something
question,
up
I
off the
guess.
top of your head.
Actually, I'm going to split this into 2 questions
Oh.
so that we can get an odd number of questions. Okay, so number 7, SDI cables send video up to which resolution? Yep, Robyn?
3600. 360.
3600p?
Mm-hmm.
That is incorrect.
No!
1080p.
That is correct.
No!
So now Garrett is at 4. Well, just for kicks, SDI cables send video up to which frame rate?
Oh.
Yep, Garrett?
Sorry. Actually, do you want to do this
No,
one? Robyn,
I
since
don't
it's the
know.
last one? Okay. 60 frames.
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So Garrett's at somewhere like 5 points. Robyn is at 2 points. So what are we talking about next week? Episode 13. We're gonna center in specifically on COVID and our experiences with work when COVID hit. What did that look like as we were transitioning into this year, and where are we kind of going with COVID regulations in light of COVID regulations?
I have got to go. Is there anything else that y'all need from me?
Not if you don't have any last words to say.
Any last
on the
words?
podcast. Do you
Is that a
have
threat?
All
Seth?
right. Thank you for
Do you have your
listening
last
to
words?
Auto In. My name's Robyn Key. You will not be hearing from me again for a while. And I hope you have a nice week.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Robyn. This was a
Buckle
pleasure.
your seatbelts and wear your masks.
Indeed. Well, this has been Auto In, hosted by Seth Kelly, Will Moulton, and Garrett Walder, with special guest Robyn Key, with music produced and performed by Jesse Liked and logo designed by John Berzino. Thank you for listening, and see you next week. Auto out.